All right, everyone, I want to show you how you turn your graphic organizer that you created today into a well-written paragraph. The first step is all this must be done. You have to have your evidence already extracted, and you've circled the top of the text for which text you feel the author did, where the author uses dialogue more effectively. Was it your author over here in this text? Or was it the author's work over here in this text? So you circle one of those, you're good to go. The other thing that you need, and probably equally as important, is your source material that I sent you. And I'm going to turn the video for a second. I sent a picture of this through Remind, okay? And this is the article Conflict in Literary Fiction by William Coles. And in this section on dialogue, he says, dialogue's essential, one thing. You want to avoid flat and uninteresting dialogue. 3, the dialogue keeps the story moving because it's so lively. And 4, it helps establish emotion. Last but not least, it enhances characterization. So those are the 5 things that we pointed out. They're all from page 2 of our article, so don't forget that. All right, so let's go back. The first step you want to do is you want to look at each of your 3 quotes. And you want to go ahead and assign which feature is reflected in the quote. So here my first quote. These old things was just done by me and Big D. A character in my piece says this, okay? And I feel like it's reflective of 5. And 5 was enhanced characterization. So it reveals a little bit more about the person who actually is assigned these words. Okay, so we'll go into that a little bit. Then I can go to my next step. Maggie can't appreciate these quilts. Well, do I feel like it's doing a little more of enhancing characterization for whichever character is actually saying this? Or do I think it should be assigned with 4? Maybe it establishes emotion, or 3, maybe it keeps the story moving in its lively dialogue. Whatever it is, I'm going to put that number next to it, right? And I'm going to continue with my last one, okay? So I have my 3 pieces of dialogue, and I've related 3 pieces of dialogue to my 5 features there, okay? I only need to assign 1 quote to 1 feature for the sake of my paper. Stop the video here and do that step now. For each of your quotes, write the corresponding number that you feel like it's addressed. If it's enhancing dialogue, write 5, enhancing dialogue. If it is keeping the story moving and it's lively, then write that number 3 next to that one, okay? And you want to continue so forth. So as you can see, all of your numbers won't be used over here, but make sure you pick the number that best fits what you think. All right, stop here and do that step. All right, so now you've assigned your numbers to all of your quotes ideally, and let's go ahead and look at our question. Which author uses dialogue more effectively in incorporating conflict? Let's go ahead and start answering that question immediately. You don't have to write in the short story, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that again. Just immediately start answering the question. Alice Walker effectively uses dialogue to incorporate conflict. Boom. Clear, concise, and ready to roll. What's the next step? Well, the next step, I'm going to refer to my source quote. So here here was my quote, and I wrote the number 5 relating to enhancing characterization. So let me show you what I'm doing with that. Walker uses dialogue to reveal details of the character and, as a result, enhance characterization. Coles, page 2. Excellent. Now, what do I need to do? Step 3? Well, I want to write my quote, but before I write my quote, I have to give my context. So, what was going on around the time where this character says this? Okay. Explaining the origins of the quilts to her eldest daughter, Mama says, these old things was just done by me and D. Parenthetical citation, period. I've given the context, And I've given the quote, the entire quote, or the quote that I will use for this portion right there, all together. What do I do next? Now I want to start analyzing it. What do I need to analyze it for? Well, I'm looking for what is revealed about the character Mama by these words. Walker uses the adjective old and the vague noun things in Mama's description of the quilts. Unlike her eldest daughter, Mama does not appear to attach a great deal of importance to the quilts. Why do I think that? Well, she calls them these old things. So either she doesn't think they're all that important and they're not worth this conversation, or she doesn't want her daughter to think they're that important. So I'm going to explain that there, okay? The next step is, now I'm finishing up my commentary. The intentional dialogue Walker assigns to the character Mama allows readers to understand the character at an analytical level when closely examining Mama's speech. So Mama's speech, these are the things that this character Mama actually says. So when I closely analyze it, maybe I see that the pieces that are here. What do you want to do next? Well, all you have to do is repeat, okay? You don't have to start over with this sentence. You just want to continue your argument. Well, you go to your step 2, all right? What number do you have here? Whatever that number is, follow the exact same guide that you followed for your second sentence. So maybe you'll say, also, Walker uses, and then you tell me the next thing that she uses in incorporating that conflict in that dialogue. And you follow all the next steps. So you give me that quote from that Coles page 2. You give me some context, what's happening around the quote, and then give me that actual quote. Then analyze it really closely. What are the pieces in that quote that prove whatever you have here? Okay. So take your time, try it out, write. I want you to go through all 3 pieces of your quotes and have that ready to turn in tomorrow. Good luck on everything. Don't be the person that just watches the video and say, oh, this is too much work. I don't want to do anything, okay? I cannot give a grade for work that does not exist. Or I'm sorry, I can give a grade. It's a pretty easy grade for me to give. But do your best. Just try it out. Come to the table, come to class with something tomorrow, and I will show you on how, not just something, but something that attempts to adhere to all the steps that we covered today. And I'll show you how to improve it tomorrow. All right? Good luck, everyone. Take your time, and don't spend more than 20 minutes on this tonight. See you tomorrow.